I'm Jim Kircher, and I'm back on my front porch, in part because I'm still limiting interaction with people, but mostly because front porches have something to do with our first story. For quite some time now, a lot of people in our area have been treated quite unexpectedly to a marching band going right by their house. Now, we first did a story about the Red and Black Brass Band when they got started, and you might have seen it on the PBS NewsHour. And we wanted to catch up with this now celebrated pop-up marching band. But as Brooke Butler found out, it is not easy keeping up with these guys.
This video was recorded back in late March, right at the height of the pandemic. The musicians, Dominique Burton and Benjamin Cosberg, who are also roommates, decided they'd already been stuck in the house for too long. So they took out their instruments and played around their neighborhood, hoping to just brighten some spirits when the world seemed at its darkest. And it did exactly that. The video went viral overnight and now has over 2.6 million views on Twitter. Flash forward to today, what started as a spontaneous duet around the block has progressed into one of St. Louis's favorite pandemic pick-me-ups, the Red and Black Brass Band. The band has been playing their way through the pandemic, entertaining neighborhoods all around the city when live entertainment is hard to come by these days. They've gained new members, gussied up their look a bit with branded t-shirts and instruments, and even added some storytelling to their set.
The rest is the history that we're all living.
Did you ever think this would be this successful when you first went out to play?
I couldn't have told myself that this would be remotely as successful as it has been.
I got a girl from St. Louis. She's the one I've been seeing in my dreams.
It's what people need, you know. It's the thing that we kind of got taken away from us during the pandemic and the COVID-19 in general, which was we kind of lost a community a little bit. We had to disconnect from one another, and music has an amazing way to bring us together.
The name Red and Black Brass Band comes from the fraternity Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, who use the colors red, black, and gold. Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia is a national fraternity for musicians, and not only is that where their name comes from, but also how the other members of the band were led to join. They're all a part of the St. Louis chapter of the fraternity, and often, when they're not sporting the band's gear, they're seen representing those Greek letters. And actually, considering the values of the fraternity, it's not a surprise that these men were led to volunteer their talents to the community. A quote from the Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia mission reads, "We uphold music, not for the sake of music itself, but to uplift our fellow man."
So it's a connection we all shared as a group already, and it was a connection that brought us to music and kept us to music, and it's a big reason why a lot of us are in St. Louis in general. So it was kind of our way of giving a little bit of tribute to it. But it was also kind of a way of connecting with each other too, because it was something we already kind of had together. Yeah.
It's also not a surprise that the band has resonated with the St. Louis community. The first thing most people think about when they hear the Red and Black Brass Band is New Orleans. St. Louis is often considered the sister city to New Orleans, with both cities being on the Mississippi River and founded with French roots. So it's no wonder that a second-line style brass band marching down our streets just kind of makes sense.
Never thought that it would be in a situation, like a pandemic, that we would be playing, walking down the streets. I've done it before, all my life, growing up in South Louisiana, with Mardi Gras and all those things. But never and that's always a joyous occasion, but not for something like a pandemic. So hopefully we can just try to, continue to bring some, good spirit music to the people. But to distinguish themselves a bit, they've composed an original song that really shows that St. Louis civic pride.
With how much time the band puts in, it seems like it would be a full-time job in itself. But they all have other careers, some actually in the music field. The band is just something they do in their spare time because they're all dedicated to keeping music in their lives.
Everyone in the group's been sacrificing and giving as much of their time to it as they can, because people do have day jobs. People are trying to still make some money. People are still trying to survive through COVID, take care of their families.
For the most part, we work well with each other with schedules, so we may not always be there all the time, but where one of us isn't there, we can always fill in with our sound. It's amazing how we do it.
Volunteering their time and talents, these guys obviously have a lot of love for the community. And the community gives the love right back. I mean, a lot of love. Not only did they go viral on Twitter back in March, they were also awarded Best Use of Brass in St. Louis Magazine's 2020 A-List feature. And when we did a short story about the band back in June, that video received a lot of attention with over 1.5 million views from all around the world. And most recently, their story was even shared on the PBS NewsHour.
The Red and Black Brass Band in St. Louis has found a way to bring music to the streets of its hometown.
Why do you think that's resonating with so many people to see you guys play?
It's the power of music. It speaks to healing. It's joy in such a time where everything in the world is dark. There's so much going on right now, right? So we're playing music, and our biggest thing is just the passion and love, and we believe in blowing that through our instruments. And I think people can really feel it. So I think that's why it's resonating all over the world.
But the pandemic won't last forever, so what's next for the band? With so many requests, the Red and Black Brass Band is now offering to play at private events, birthday parties, family reunions, and even second-line funerals.
More so, the parades will probably stop during the winter. If we can get open venues without it being too crowded or too hazardous, yes, we'll probably venture out into that road, and also, just whatever else we can do as safely as we can,
The Red and Black Brass Band doesn't announce when or where they're planning a spontaneous neighborhood parade, mainly for safety reasons to avoid large crowd gatherings. But if they make it to your neighborhood, you won't miss them.